Okay. We're 10-8. Ooh, my foot's bumped. We are 10-8. The number is 180 and the letter is G. My name is Mig. I am talking over some really loud jazz. Hopefully it's not that loud for you. I don't know, maybe I need to turn it down more. God dang. Whatever. Anyway, hooray, mission 3. We, access the objectives. Revenue management. Evaluate the show. By the way, I did go to get dinner. Had a couple bourbons. I am kind of lit at this point. Now we're managing the revenues wisely. Indeed, of course. We got a 7, yo. 7s are awesome. 7s are exactly what we want, right? That's the sanctioned UN proper response for our useful political correctness. We will need to learn how to mitigate governance risks and challenges. Let's do it. All right, so here is the UI tutorial. UI tutorial. Since we've gone through this 2 other times previously, hopefully you paused, made sure you read all the things you need to read. Here's a random person on a random airplane reading a random... Yes. The arguing over how to spend it. Lorem ipsum. Dome tempus fusto ut mollis ex exeges. I mean, they didn't use lorem ipsum explicitly, but, you know, lorem fucking ipsum, yo. We'd have done better to leave it in the ground. Oh, you just need to be more tea. That's not my business. Are you interested in additional background before this mission? Are you? Can we tell you about our Lord and Savior Cthulhu? Thank you. Thank you. Doctor. President. Aha, 6 years since President Ciala. How often do they have their elections? How many times are you allowed to be reelected? Aladdin 1 only started production 2 years ago. Revenues have been slow to arrive. Good thing we had a balanced thing where you get a little bit now and a little bit later without getting too much risk or too much uselessness. Oh... Dude, don't drive a Pinto down the street. It will explode and burn your butt. Unmet expectations. Your team has been reassembled to advise on a revenue management strategy that can ensure future regimes manage revenues well. Of course you have. And then there's the person. At least she's wearing a coat with, like, proper symmetry. Yeah, I don't know. You still have to protect Petronia from all of the glossary in the glossary section. Glossary. Yes, the Dutch disease. The Dutch disease of glossaries. Excuse me. Stakeholders. Stakeholders are always a pain in the ass. They want you to implement things that you're just not comfortable implementing. That's fine. We will go to the presidential palace. We will go to the capital city. We will go to the briefing. And we will all wear our little happy brooch pins of Petronianism. Good luck, team. Who would you like to go with? Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so hands we've already talked about. Hands are a little bit weird. So we'll start on the left. Talk to the Brazilian. We will go to the House of Parliament, to the office of Elisabeth. She with the weirdy braid in her hair. I think. I do remember these things. Oh, no, not you. You don't have the weirdy braid in your hair. The president has big plans. Neftali's livelihoods depend on agriculture. My people must see direct benefits. The roads are atrocious. Our democracy is young and far from perfect, but we should be able to bribe everyone with all of this oil wealth that we've got on our hands. I mean, the parliament must play a stronger role in managing revenues. We want to determine how much we debase the currency. We've been elected to be the people's voice. Locking up the revenues in a government-controlled fund when so many people desperately need assistance is not the will of the people. Aha, more communism. See, you know, if you had to guess, what is the nuanced, generalized, happy, dare I say, technocratic response to the situation, what do you think would be the thing that you would want to do when someone has such an aggressively communist concern? Aha, interesting choice. On the one hand, I want to. On the other hand, I don't. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Everything's made up. And there aren't actually any points. So ha, fooled you twice. Tell me about what Farhan has to say. Groovy. 18% increase in government revenues. Almost double that in the next 2 years. This is an unprecedented opportunity, but also means the budget may surpass the IMF definition of a resource dependency. Because, you know, unless you have to borrow money from the IMF, I don't know that you want to actually pay attention to what they have to say. But that's not me. That's beyond my pay grade. Anyway, see this peak? This is the Balmer peak. This represents having exactly 2 bourbons. This would be 3 and then 4 bourbons. This would be, 1 and then 0 bourbons of, and everyone knows bourbon does lead to the Dutch disease. In any event, here's some oil price. Here's some, spoke here, spoke here. I mean, that could kind of just be little devil horns, right? Go Texas, right? Longhorns, yo. I swear to God, I rolled my mouse wheel down. Okay, my mouse is stuttering as much as my face is. That's a little bit disconcerting. In any event, we could draw from this fund to stabilize the budget when oil revenues decline. Beyond this purpose, additional revenue can be set aside as savings in investments abroad, which is kind of in italics, sort of. It's hard to tell whether they meant that to be in italics or not. But, Dutch disease and sterilize and natural resource fund. And okay, I'm paying attention. I'm listening. Swear to God, you don't want the thing to go below the thing because it's blue up here, but then it's white down there, and you don't want it to be white because white's the bad color, at least when you're dealing with economic statistics. Also minimize the volatility. When volatility has an underline on it, interesting choice. La 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 la. Let's see what the rest of the team thinks. The Bay of Heroes. Did they fall in the bay? Did they jump in the bay? Did they die in the bay? Was it a hero-like naval battle? Was it a swimming competition? What makes a hero? Aha! The dreamer. He's got a ring on his wrong hand. Welcome to my office. My office is in a cafe. All right, groovy. Truly wondrous. The Neftali lifestyle is distinct from that of our brothers. He's got a full cup of coffee, and he wants to go walk away from it, yo. I guess you gotta, get all your tilapia time in. Share of the revenues. Yes, exactly. Communism. But not communism. A communism is an important consideration. Oh, quite persuasive. La la la. Head back to the city. Aha. And then. Uh-oh. Sure. Always talk. Always advance the plot, right? Clickety, 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 pop. This is a really good way to slow down the game. Sure. Okay, I'll see you there. La 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 la. End conversation. Newsroom. Rawr. Capitalism, capitalism, capitalism. No, well, so far the news lady's been like more center left than like hard angry communism, but look. Star Tribune, news, daily news, news. The price, the price. More corruption and waste. Yes. Democracy, functional democracy, openness. Food and drinks. See? See, oil wealth is bad for you. It causes tooth decay. You must use your Crest gel. I see, I see how this view is an important consideration. Indeed. Return to the team. Push the other button. You, sir. Show me your 5 o'clock shadow, Mr. Franz. In your University of Petronia. All right, groovy. It's like a very high-level skydive, right? I mean, you're just kind of coming down. That would be like what? I mean, pretty far up, like 1,200, 1,100, something like that. Like coming down. I mean, this is like well before you'd want to like pop and start to spiral, right? But anyway, whatever. Sorry, reminiscing. In any event, colleagues, please bask upon my shadow and see that it is indeed 5 o'clock. Big Bang growth. How to 5 o'clock your shadow in years or less.
Resource wealth can transform an economy, but it's often accompanied by unique challenges. Erratic price changes on global markets for oil, gas, and minerals can cause government revenues to fluctuate unpredictably. This creates potential budget windfalls in boom
Wouldn't you think they would like match each other better than that?
When prices collapse. When prices are high, budget increases incentivize governments to spend on prestige projects such as showy monuments and stadiums without clear value. As prices decline, the budget shrinks, leading to work stoppage or the need to borrow to plug in funding gaps. Sudden spending cuts can interrupt essential services or
sovereign
leave
wealth
major
funds
projects unfinished. To manage these risks, governments can use fiscal rules to stabilize the budget.
See, this is machine learning. We're going to fit a line to the points, right, gentlemen?
Revenues that are set aside in a natural resource account or sovereign wealth fund. When prices
and ladies,
decline,
sorry, I apologize.
Can then draw from these
Plenty of
funds
fantastic ladies in the machine learning departments.
Governments can also use surplus to meet present development needs.
The face doesn't match the accent, though. I don't know.
In Chile
I'm still judging people on their accents, obviously.
Commitments to social welfare,
it's an American way.
Education and pensions. To specifically address local impact issues, some countries, like Peru, also distribute revenues directly to local governments for development projects, such as school construction.
Just, we are still in the,
Over time,
opening cutscene for this game,
like Petronia may find that their economy and export sectors become highly specialized and increasingly dependent on the resource. This can be damaging to other industries. As money pours in from the
banana drilling just doesn't
sector,
work as well.
It appreciates the currency, thereby making Petronia's exports more expensive on the global market. In addition, currency appreciation increases wages and inflation, adding to the cost of local production. It doesn't take long before extraction becomes dominant, a phenomenon that has been dubbed Dutch disease. As you see, the impact can be
only
quite
the sixth time we've heard the reference to
what
Dutch disease so far.
To nurture diverse industries, resource revenues can be reinvested in transportation and energy.
Imperialism in the East Indies can actually be good for your economy, which is actually bad for your economy. Which is what the Spaniards learned when they went into the Andes and over-flooded their economy with too much free gold and silver.
Let's open it up to questions, since I've got a few minutes left. Resource wealth.
Oh my God, no. No, excuse me. That was a mistake. It amuses me. I kind of wanted to have done it on purpose, but it was a mistake. In any event, scrolling downward, more scrolling, all the scrolling of the downward. Avoid the volatility. I hear you, sir. I hear you, sir. Yes, sovereign wealth fund. Yes, automatic stabilizers. Keynesianism, paleo-Keynesianism, right there. Paying down public debt in good times. That's what people don't understand about paleo-Keynesianism. Jiminy crickets. How hard is it? How hard is it to figure that nonsense out, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my god, governments should, spend their money as if they were fucking corporations, right? Well, what do corporations do? They pay down their debt when they have extra money, and they only take on debt when they need to. Well, except for nowadays when there's a government subsidy of debt in the way that they're allowed to, just as people are allowed to on their mortgages, write it off from their taxes, right? So government subsidy of debt kind of distorts the entire debt market and makes things a lot more, well, anyway, oil. Where were we? Oil. I think, to be honest, I have no idea how long Mission 3 is going to go. We're going to call it here. My name is Mig. I'd like to thank you very much for skydiving with me to the end of this episode. Do please feel free to click the like and the subscribe. They help vaguely. I don't know, something. Whatever. If you stuck around this long, there's some other, absurd reason you'd be doing it, not caring about liking or subscribing. So I salute you, sir or madam, as the case may be. In any event, and only for now, because we're going to be right back. We are 10-7. Over and out. Where's the jazz music?